From the creepy killer clown in the Capellanos to the human doll maker from Uncanny Valley. These are the most disturbing Criminal Minds episodes of all time. Stay away from this one if you have coulrophobia, because there's an evil clown on the loose. The team's on their way to investigate a pretty disturbing case in Guyman, Oklahoma. There have been multiple incidents of home invasions, burglaries, and even murders. The most recent incident occurred in Campo, Colorado, and it has some eerie similarities to the one in Guimon. In both cases, the victims were hardworking white men who were brutally attacked and killed. The killer used objects found in the houses to beat them up badly, and then did something really creepy. They cut the corners of the victims' mouths to make them look like they had an exaggerated smile. Now here's where it gets interesting. In the Guymon case, there's actually a witness, a 7-year-old boy named Dylan Wilson. The poor kid has been through so much that he's stopped talking. But before that happened, he told the police that the person who killed his dad was dressed as a clown. That's when the team starts wondering if this is for real, or if it's just Dylan's fear of clowns playing tricks on his mind. It's crucial information because it seems like the killer was aware of Dylan's presence in the house. Eventually, they discover that the unsub is likely traveling through the back roads, possibly heading towards some final destination. But the idea of a clown torturing and murdering people is the worst nightmare for a lot of us. The Mosley Lane episode was also one of those episodes that stays with you. It gets under your skin and leaves you feeling emotionally drained. The episode was directed by Matthew Gray Gubler, the actor who plays the beloved character Dr. Spencer Reed. You can expect some seriously creepy stuff whenever Gubler takes the director's seat. The story begins with a string of young children going missing in public places, and eventually, the team discovers that the culprits behind these abductions are a husband and wife team. Anita and Roger Roycewood, portrayed by Beth Grant and Bud Cort, have this twisted collaboration going on. As the plot unfolds, we learn the heart-wrenching reason behind their abductions. Turns out the couple can't have children of their own. It's a tragic and disturbing motive that adds an extra layer of darkness to the episode. What makes Mosley Lane so impactful is its portrayal of real-life fears and crimes. The show doesn't shy away from exploring the darkness of it all. The performances by the extras and the victims are incredibly convincing, and also make this one of the saddest episodes in Criminal Minds history. I mean, let me give you an example of how horrifying it gets. There's a scene where Anita Roycewood sings a nursery rhyme to a sleeping child, only to then push him into their family's crematorium to be burned alive. The scene is both terrifying and heartbreaking at the same time, because it's not the first time they've done this. The couple killed all the children who misbehaved this way and kept the rest captive for years. But if you think this is gruesome, you probably haven't seen the lesson. It's one of those episodes that really pushed the boundaries. And guess what? Gubler also directed this intense and graphic episode. The BAU team comes across a series of gruesome crime scenes where they find bodies that have been completely dismembered. As the episode progresses, we learn that the unsub, Adam Rain, played by Brad Dourif, has turned these victims into human puppets and uses their corpses in a twisted puppet show. The motive behind Rain's horrifying actions is revealed to be linked to his own traumatic past. Because of some serious prefrontal brain damage, he regressed psychologically to a childlike state of mind. In his deranged state, he kidnaps people and dislocates their joints, forcing them to participate in a play reenacting the incident that resulted in the death of his father. It's a disturbing cycle of violence and revenge, and we get to see it in all its gory glory. There's a scene where we see exactly what the killer does to his victims, and it's not for the faint-hearted. Some fans thought the episode went a little too far. The lesson stands out as one of the most graphic and disturbing episodes ever, as it delves into the darkest corners of the human psyche. North Mammon is another episode that gets you thinking about just how twisted humans can be. It revolves around 3 young soccer players who are best friends, and their lives take a dark and terrifying turn when an unknown assailant kidnaps them. This sick man keeps them captive in a sealed-off location, creating a nightmarish prison for them. But it doesn't end there. The abductor takes things to a new level of horror by instructing the teenage girls to kill one of their friends if they want any chance of escaping. As the episode progresses, we come to know the identity of the perpetrator. Marcus Younger, a trash collector who was once discarded by his friends in high school after a devastating knee injury ended his sports career. In a twisted act of seeking revenge and exposing what he thinks is the shallowness of teenagers, he kidnaps these girls and forces them into this horrific situation where they must turn against each other. It's chilling to witness Marcus's disturbing motives and the lengths he goes to execute his sick plan. What makes it even more unsettling is the fact that he escapes capture, leaving both Agent Gideon and the audience frustrated and disappointed. It's also one where we see each of the victims as potential villains, as two of the girls think of killing their friend, who's getting sick and weak. Now that's twisted. Also, a little bit like Yellow Jackets, don't you think? Just without all the cannibalism. Speaking of which, there was an episode called Lucky, which comes with a recipe book. It takes the BU to Bridgewater, Florida, where they encounter a series of disturbing murders. Now, what sets this episode apart is Jamie Kennedy's portrayal of the Unsub, which is a far cry from his previous roles, like Randy from the Scream franchise or Professor Eli James from Ghost Whisperer. In Lucky, Kennedy plays the character Floyd Phelan Farrell and does a great job of terrifying us. Farrell isn't just any ordinary murderer. He's a vile, cannibalistic killer who has a disturbing fascination with a subset of Satanism. What's most frightening about his character is his twisted decisions after the killings. Farrell kills his victims and serves them as meals to unsuspecting people, which includes law enforcement officers. It's a horrifying revelation that adds more criminality to his character. He forces his victims to eat the remains of his previous ones. The BAU team uncovers a chilling discovery, a cookbook filled with homemade cannibal recipes that Farrell has created. Near the end of the episode, a conversation between Farrell and a priest is just chilling. The priest tells him that God is in all of us. Farrell chillingly responds that so is Tracy Lambert, meaning he had fed her body to the whole town. While Farrell liked killing and feeding women to other people, the next creep liked making dolls out of them. The Uncanny Valley is about Samantha Malcolm, played by Jennifer Hasty, an unsub with a deeply disturbing MO. She kidnaps women and drugs them, turning them into lifeless dolls that she plays with. It's all rooted in her own traumatic past of sexual abuse and electroshock therapy as a child. The team uncovers the disturbing connection between her actions and those of her father, who had assaulted her as a child. He later attempted to make amends by giving her dolls, which triggered her obsession and led her to kidnap women as replacements for the lost toys. Samantha has killed 3 women and kidnapped many more, leaving a trail of terror in her wake. The episode's different from others in that it lacks the usual moments of hope and resolution that come with the unsub's arrest. Samantha's character is one of those rare instances where viewers feel a sense of sympathy for her, but her crimes are so heinous that you can't ignore them. The character's complex, and you question your morals when you feel sorry for her. Honestly, there were some strong Dahmer vibes here with the way she wants to keep these women for herself. It's also one of those rare cases of a female serial killer. We hardly get to see that. Mostly we see women as victims of serial killers, but in this one, we see one as the villain. It really makes you question so many things and be afraid of just about everyone. So there you have it. From the human doll maker of Uncanny Valley to the creepy killer clown of the Capellanos. These were the most disturbing Criminal Minds episodes of all time.